Hey guys, what's up? It is the Slifer Slacker. I am back at it again with another video. Tonight we have a discussion with the upcoming Elemental Heroes / Neos support, armnios. So basically this card is essentially a Neos version of Grand Merge. If you don't know what Grand Merge does, Grand Merge is an Elemental Hero fusion that requires 2 normal monsters. If it destroys a monster by battle, you contribute it, special summon out an elemental hero from your extra deck, and bam. The only restriction is that monster cannot attack other monsters with lower level than the monster summoned out. This does not have that restriction, although if you're summoning him out, you're probably going to be doing it one of 2 ways. That's either going to be using Neos plus an armed dragon monster, and of course the polymerization, or you're going to be using Neos Fusion. Now Neos Fusion is probably going to be the most popular way to get this card out. Just know that there are other ways. You're not locked into Neos Fusion. You can use other methods, but that is probably going to be one of the most, if not the most popular way to get him out. Now, you do need to understand that when you use Neos Fusion, you can't use his effect to summon out the monster that turn. You have to wait until next turn. Which, depending on what you get out, I'm going to scoot these up. Depending on what you get out, that may actually benefit you more. So we have things like Storm Neos. We have something like Magma Neos. We have Cosmo Neos. We have Shining Neos Wingman. And we have Nebula Neos. Now, of the kind of, which I call them the triple Neos fusion. Oh, and you do have Favorite Contact that you can use to get into armnios. But so you kind of, these are going to be your go-to, probably your go-to monsters that you fuse into because of their effects at the end of the turn, barring Shining Neos Wingman. He doesn't have anything like that. He pops on summon. But these 4 all have an effect that says when they return to extra deck, something happens. Cosmo Neos on summon stops your opponent from activating card effects on field. They can still activate in graveyard and in hand, but on field they can't do anything. And at the end, this is the only one that only affects your opponent's field. It is basically a board wipe. And so you summon him out, your opponent can't activate anything. In the end phase, he goes back to the deck, wipes their board. And it is all cards. So, pretty good. Nebula Neos, summon this card out. You get to draw, and then you get to negate. So this is probably going to be, one of the probably top 3. I would say these right here are going to be top 3. These 2 are going to be situational. The only other one that has an effect like this is Chaos Neos. I would just refer to him as an honorable mention. I don't really see anybody playing him because it sets the cards, which your opponent next turn can just flip them face up. It's kind of, it's like kind of bad. Plus, nobody was playing Chaos Neos anyway because he's always been a bad card. But Nebula Neos, again, on summon, you summon him out. You draw cards equal to the amount of cards your opponent controls, and then you negate something. And then in the end phase, which you can actually negate him so that he doesn't go back, but you use his effect to go back, and I believe he banishes. Yep, banish all cards on the field face down. So it does affect your field as well. So it says with the end phase shuffle card and banish all cards on the field face down. So that could be something that, say he's the only thing on your board, and your opponent has a decent sized board. Summon him out, bam, do some draws, negate something, end phase, shuffle him back, banish everything on board. That's pretty solid. I'm going to set him kind of over here with these 3. Summoning out Shining Neos Wingman, if you don't know what he does by now, summon him out, and then he gets to destroy cards on the field equal to the amount of attributes on field. Obviously, you get 1 pop because he's light. If you have, say, light, earth, fire, and wind, that'd be 4 pops. Light and dark, that'd be 2 pops. And he can't be destroyed by card effects. So he's a decent target as well. These 2, I would say, are totally situational. Magma is interesting because he gains, I believe it's 400 attack for each card on the field. So if there are 10 cards on the field, that is 4,000 attack. If there are 2 cards on the field, that's 800. So it's not, it's not hyper broken, but it's not bad. So in the end phase, you return this card to the extra deck and return all cards on the field to the owner's hand. So if your opponent has a lot of extra deck monsters, going back to the hand equates to going back to the extra deck. You know, send this back. You can proc that, which is pretty solid. Stormnios, I believe his is hand. Or no, his is hand. I'm silly. He returns all cards on the field to the deck. So that's actually not bad. That can actually really deplete a lot of your opponent's advantage, card advantage and resources if you do that. So for example, my chair is extra squeaky, sorry. If you go Neos Fusion, you send these two, you summon him out, you attack something. Next turn, you tribute him out, you get into the Stormnios. And the thing is that kind of sucks is why I feel like these three are going to be your top go-to guys, is if the monster has to make it back to the extra deck. So if this card gets destroyed, if this card gets negated, it's kind of moot. So that's kind of why I feel like they're very situational, and it's really dependent on what your opponent has on board. These three can't be destroyed, pops on summon. Summon him out. He's basically a board negate. Your opponent can't activate anything on field, and he gets one negate, and then you get a bunch of draws. So I feel like these three are definitely going to be like your holy trinity when you get to armnios, unless we get another fusion monster. But now don't forget, you can still use him to go into any elemental hero fusion. So you can even trade him out and go into Infernal Rage. Okay, so you can go elemental hero, flame wingman, Infernal Rage, search your favorite contact. Basically, if you want to, turning Neos Fusion into a one-card Shining Neos Wingman, but I mean, you could just go him and then get him out. You know, it depends on, and I feel like that's the thing. I feel like this card is gonna totally be dependent on what your opponent has, because in that same breath, Magma Neos might be solid. You know what I mean? Because you have that. Say you have that Neos Fusion Engrave. Okay, you don't have to worry about him getting destroyed because you can just banish that away. You could summon him out. Say there's like, I don't know, say there's 12 cards on field. Okay, that would be what? 12 times 4. That would be what? 4,800? Yeah, that'd be 4,800. So basically, whatever say there's what, that would be 4. I think you need 14 cards on field to be. What do you need to be 8,000 attack? You would need 5,000 boost. So whatever 5,000 boost would be, get him out, attack. You have the Neos Fusion if need be, and then in the end he shuffles everything back to what, hand? Yeah. So guys, these are kind of going to be your main targets. Again, and I'm just addressing for the big Neos Fusions. You may, like I said, you may even want to use him to go into Infernal Rage and then search off the trap. If you want to, it's not, you can use that as a way to get there. And you don't have to use Armed Dragon level 10. This can be Armed Dragon Thunder. This can be Armed Dragon level 7. But what makes the most sense, and at least from my experience playing it, is if you go Neos Fusion, you send these guys. When he gets summoned out, he gets to target a dragon in graveyard, and then you basically board wipe your opponent's monsters based on the level. And if, say, for example, they have, it's very rare that your opponent's going to have a level 10 monster on board. If they do, you can wipe it. But it's smart to do this. If your opponent has a Link and Exceed, something that doesn't have a level, proc this effect, destroy everything else, and then attack that. But if your opponent only has monsters that have levels, I wouldn't activate this effect, because he needs to attack one, sent to grave, in order to get his effect. So it's weird, it's situational. That's why I firmly believe that this is a side deck card. When your main strategy, you want to try to go first, get into your Shining Neos Wingman, and then, say, you side out, and then you put this guy in for going second. And then, you summon him out, board wipe if you have to, attack, and then try to get into the Cosmo Neos next turn. stop your opponent from activating anything, and then in the end phase, send this back to the extra deck, opens up your opponent's board. So, guys, this has been a discussion video. Hope you liked it. If you like more videos like this, if you want more insight on some of the newer Elemental Heroes / Neospatian cards, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a comment. I'm curious, is there another card that I'm missing that we could be going into that's actually really solid? Guys, Slifer Slacker out. I'm going to go get my game on.